part of my story in there started with my story of recovery and recovery from drug and alcohol addiction. And I don't say that it starts with me ending my drug and alcohol addiction. Yes, I stopped using alcohol and I stopped using drugs, but it's a constant work in progress and it's not ever done. And so that's why it's a constant recovery in that. And it's not just for those of us, like for me being a recovering alcoholic and addict, it's for all of us, right? Like my thing started way before that. I had this drive to be perfect in everything that I did. I had to have all the best grades. I had to, try to be better than everybody else. I had to be the best friend. I had to be the best daughter. I had to play all these different roles and be the best at them. When I started using my drinking and then got into drugs, it was like this relief for me because I had started burning myself out so much, working so hard, doing all these things that I thought in order to be perfect. So I put all of these unrealistic expectations on myself. Other people weren't putting them on me. I did this to myself. And so then I found an escape that eventually took me down a road to homelessness, divorce, and joblessness. But there was that moment, and a lot of people talk about that moment of clarity or that aha moment that they have before that transformation or that change can happen. And even when I had that moment, it wasn't this perfect moment. It was more of knowing something had to change. Because for me, if it didn't change, I was either going to wake up in jail, hurt somebody else, or hurt myself. And I was already hurt. So the next road to that was for me to no longer be here. And that was the road that I was traveling down. Luckily for me, I had a lot of support in that. And so I tell you all of this again, too, because I think, especially with the people that I work with, like we work, and I still do it sometimes, right? But I feel like I have to work twice as hard as everybody else. So I could be twice as good as everybody else, just so I could be good enough. And there's that miss in there of you already are good enough right where you are. It's what you need to do is taking action. And when we try to do everything so perfectly, it leaves us in inaction. But we work so hard at these other things in our life to try to be perfect that we're not actually working on the things that will help us with what we want to do, whether that is taking care of ourselves, having time to travel, play with our kids, having a successful business, whatever those things look like for you in life. We can't do it when we're always shooting for perfection, and we won't take anything less, because when we do that, we don't do anything. We stay in that problem of never taking that one little step towards action. But it leads us to burnout. And it leads us to burnout so much quicker because then we have all the wrong actions and then there's no purpose in it. And when we don't have the purposeful action happening, we're missing out. We're missing out on having those fun times. We're missing out on being present to be able to work with our clients or that. Because when we also lead to burnout, what we're finding, what they have found just over this last year is that women especially have found that like sleeping, which is like the number one way to take care of ourselves. We keep hearing self-care, we need self-care. And yes, we need to do self-care, because if we don't put our own oxygen mask on first, it makes it so hard for us to be able to take care of all of those around us, right? And we hear that all the time. But one of the most basic things that we can do in taking care of ourselves is to get some sleep. Get some sleep. And so what they have found out that over 1 in 6 women in the United States get less than 5 hours of sleep a night, like on a regular basis. And over half of the women that they have polled in the United States get less than 6 hours of sleep a night. And they're not doing it to get up early to do something for themselves. It's not like going to exercise or like finding, having like a morning routine for themselves. A lot of people, you're burning yourself out because you're getting up early to work more. You're staying up late, which I tend to be a late person, staying up late to work more, to clean the house, to do all these things that we think are so important. And really, then we're missing out on things, because I know when I am averaging under 5 hours of sleep a night for a few days in a row, by the time it's done, I'm tired, I am irritable, I am yelling at my kids, I'm taking it out on my husband. I feel like I'm just burnt. Instead of getting in a little bit of rest time throughout the weeks for ourselves, which can make such a difference. Stepping away from the computer for a little bit, even for 10 minutes, to go for a walk or to turn on some fun music and dance. So these are little ways that we can take care of ourselves in the moments when we are building a business, when we are trying to take care of our kids, when we're trying to do all of that. And then the other thing in all of it is too, and I say this all the time, is you've got to give yourself grace. It's really hard if I don't have my rest, if I'm not doing the things for me, like my affirmations, building myself up, taking time to make sure I'm present for myself. It's giving ourselves grace, but saying, you know what, that's okay because I love you. And those are the same things that I could say to myself when I start having those same thoughts in my head come. I make a mistake, or I failed at something, right? Like I tried something, it didn't work. I could look at that as failure, and I have two choices. I could beat myself up and tell myself, gosh, Martha, you're such an idiot. What the hell did you think you were doing? And just sit in that. Or I can flip the script and say, you know what? You made a mistake. What have I learned from this? What can I do differently? And how can I move on to make things even better later? Or, you know what? This didn't work. I'm going to scrap this and I'm going to try something completely different and go a different route. That's the way it is. And, making sure that I am talking nicer to myself, that I am showing myself love. And yes, and giving myself that time for me, so that way I can show up as the parent, as the coach, as the wife and the daughter for everybody else. But most importantly, I have to show up as Martha for myself, right? Those are all other roles that I play. But if I am not happy with who I am, it doesn't matter all those other roles, because it all carries out. And checking myself and what my triggers are when I get frustrated with things and I don't get things right. And so really, like, the thing I've been saying lately too is the juggle is real, right? When you are a mom, when you are a entrepreneur, when you are a grandparent, when you have all of these different plates spinning, keeping the house clean, meal planning, kids, all of those different things, then it's hard to be productive, because it's easy to just keep, oh, this needs attention, I'm going to spin this plate. Oh, this one needs attention, I'm going to do this. Instead of having intention in what we're doing. So what I want to offer for everybody who is here is a little freebie PDF. It is a productivity planner for yourself. It helps you set up your priorities for your life and for your business, whatever that is. It also helps you know what some of your daily tasks are, as well as what are those things that you're tolerating in your life that you can get rid of. Like maybe taking 5 minutes a day to get rid of some clutter that you have coming up in your house, because it is true, the physical clutter that you have in your life can also start affecting the mental clutter that you have in your life. So on top of that, I also want to invite anybody who wants to take it a bit further into my amazing Finally Unleashed Love and Life membership. That we just take a deep dive, and there's even more accountability and some coaching in there to help keeping you move forward, and not perfectly. It keeps you in action. It helps you reset your mindset around what is going on for you and what may be causing you to like, ooh, take that, I don't know if I could do this. Or you find yourself yelling at the kids more, or all of those different moments for yourself. So that way you can give yourself grace and keep moving forward in those moments of imperfection.